You've spoken a lot about anxiety and your anxiety. Why do you feel like it is important to do that?
Because nobody does. Nobody does. And over the years, I've come to learn also that it's important to not say I have anxiety, but to say I'm anxious about getting to the airport on time. I'm anxious about my golf clubs making it without getting broken. I'm anxious about that test I have coming. I'm anxious about this new job because it's okay to be anxious. We're all anxious about stuff. We wouldn't be human if we weren't anxious about stuff. But we label ourselves instead of labeling the situation. And so we say, I have anxiety. Well, wait a minute. Everybody's anxious about getting to the plane on time and not missing their flight. Does that mean everybody in the world has anxiety? No, but everybody in the world is anxious. And so the minute I started saying to people, I'm a guy that deals with low levels of anxiety, doesn't impact. Everybody just sort of raised their hand and said, thank you so much for saying that. Thank you for bringing that up because it makes people feel less like there's something wrong with them, that they're different. And, I think if we just talk about stuff regularly and we admit to the things, people go, oh, wait a minute, I do that. I have that. Does that make you different? No, it just makes you human. So really, that's why I do it. I've been at conferences and I get up and I talk and I get done, and there might be 200 people in the audience, 300 people in the audience, and 30 or 40 will come up to me and say, "Thank you so much for bringing that." I mean, because it's so common, you know. And I think the thing I've come to realize what I said is it's not about having anxiety; it's about being anxious, and that's something that's a universal trait among all people.
It's also about sharing it and admitting it, like you just said. Like it's one of the most important things that you do that a lot of people don't do is just say like, "Hey, I have this thing." Like it's not that deep, it's not that serious, but like by sharing it, you now make more people comfortable with sharing that they also have it or feeling seen in their own thing.
Yeah, and that's not to underestimate or there are some people that really suffer from debilitating anxiety, and I don't in any way want to minimize what those people are dealing with because I was there. I mean, I had a period of time, 6 to 8 months where it was almost debilitating. I couldn't really even travel because I was so worried about missing my connecting flight. So I don't want to minimize that if there are people out there in the world that really do suffer from something that is debilitating, they need to get help. They should go get help. Obviously, absolutely. And all I'm really trying to say is what you said, which is you're not. It doesn't make you a weirdo. It doesn't make you different. I go see a counselor every month or so, and he asked me, how are things going? How are things going on? Because at nighttime I take a little, mirtazapine, which very low dose, which but that's okay. That there's nothing wrong with that. There are a lot of people out there, but there are some people where it's debilitating, and they should not be ashamed to go and get help.
I think it's that right there too. Like there's not a lot of guys, successful guys like yourself who admit that they see someone or talk to someone or take something to help their anxiety or whatever they're dealing with. And I think by sharing something like that, it's like when someone hears this, they're like, oh, okay, like it's okay to go talk to somebody. It's okay to admit that something's a little off. And it's like okay to uh, allow yourself to admit that, and not feel weird in it. Exactly
Yeah,
like what you said.
yeah. I mean, absolutely.